Hey guys, it's Joel from the WLTCG podcast with a quick post recording message, I guess. Um, this message won't matter if you're just listening to the podcast, but if you're watching it, we didn't realize the video fucked up like 40 minutes into the podcast. So, sorry about that, and I hope you guys still enjoy the podcast.
So, hello everyone. Welcome back to the WLTCG podcast. My name's Sam.
I'm Joel.
So, obviously, as you can notice, Roderick isn't here. Roderick has some stuff to do. But we wanted to come to you to talk about the open house. First things first, I just want to say, I'm a little bit sick, so I'm sorry if I sound slightly different.
Yeah.
I don't know how I sound, so we'll see. But to start off, I guess, just talk about the open house. So,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the turnout was slightly better than I thought it would be because not including you, me, Roderick, and Kevin, who was helping run the event. We had 11 new people.
Yeah,
10 or 11 new people.
Yeah, which I guess I should give a little intro. So basically, we had an open house this week today. Almost said the wrong date, but yeah. So today we ran an open house where we just basically talked to get people into the game. We ran little tiny one-on-ones between either me. Did you?
Yeah, I did. That's
Okay,
some people.
So we just taught people how to play, ran them through the decks, just to get them a basic interest into it. And a lot of people liked it, and there's definitely a lot more people than I was expecting. I was expecting 4 or 5 people. We were really lucky, and then I get there, and Roderick brought one guy that was completely brand new, another guy that had done it, played for us a little bit. How many?
We had 4 or 5 people from the Dragon Ball community come and play.
Yeah, which was great. I think all of them really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, dude. For sure, a lot of them joined because of the waifu art.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then they start playing the game. They're like, "Oh man, this is actually pretty nice."
Yeah, I mean, the guy that I helped, I was just making a lot of comparisons to Pokemon, and I was like, oh, isn't it great how you don't get mana screwed or mana flood, and how everything makes sense as it goes along.
Yeah. Luckily, the people that I was with, they played Magic beforehand, so that's where my terminology came from.
Yeah, that always helps. Because I've never truly played Magic, full blown, but I know enough that I'm this is this is a sorcery, but with quick cast it becomes an instant. But they're just one single type of card. First strike is still first strike.
Yeah.
I don't know that many games where it's different actually.
Not really.
Because first strike just makes sense.
Yeah, my biggest worry about this open house was to explain to someone who's never played a card game before, because I'm really bad at explaining things, so I rely on comparing to other games.
I'm decent at that, but it's very it definitely does help. I obviously Magic is the easiest.
Yeah.
Because you're just oh, this is this and that, and I get it. The second one is just because I came from Yu-Gi-Oh! I think that helped me a lot. But yeah, straight up just brand new to card games, I think I've only ever taught a couple people. And that's, definitely one of the most difficult things, just because you're this is how this works. And you don't think about well, every card game has this, so you know how to do that. And I'm I'll do it. And I'm wait, that's a thing? And I'm well, yes, you draw a card every turn. And I didn't know this. And I'm I didn't think that was something I had to explain, but you're right. You've never played this before. You probably... yeah.
You don't know what a phase is or whatever.
Yeah. We're so this is a phase, and they're how many are there? And I'm you don't count them, they're just there. You just draw, recovery, main phase, end phase. Combat is in between, is in main phase. That's...
It's just a thing that we kind of take for granted as people have played card games for a good chunk of years.
Yeah. Because a lot of card games have at least something within each other. I would say that the only card game that probably has loads of nothing is stuff even Weiss has some stuff. I'd say Pokemon. Pokemon is probably one of the most out there in card games, just because they don't have a resource system, but they're still limited in what you can play. Unlike Yu-Gi-Oh!, where it's just you can play as many spells as you want. Yeah. Traps you can set up to 5. There's limitations, but anything else is go crazy. Well, Pokemon is like, hey, I'm gonna play a supporter. I can't play a supporter for the rest of this turn now. It's like, but there's no resources going into this. But besides that, yeah, I mean, to go through it, like for me, like I just played a dual color deck. I think I won all my matches, but that's to be expected.
Yeah.
But I think I went 2-1 with everyone, so they at least got a game off me.
Yeah.
Even with the brand new people. So that's always nice.
I didn't play with anyone. I kind of just like watched over and like help people as they played their matches. Like if they had like a question about like how an interaction worked or something.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, would this work? I'd be like, oh yeah, that would work, or like, oh no, that won't work that way. Just stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Because you can, especially like telling people beforehand like how the game plays and stuff like that. Even then, like there's times where like I'm going through it and I'm like, oh, I forgot to teach them what first strike is.
Yeah.
Or I forgot to mention, how combat works. Stuff like that. That like if when you try to explain it, you get in the middle of the game and they're like, wait, how do I do this? And you're like, right, I forgot to say that, and then you explain it.
Or like, sometimes you may forget to explain that you could actually do stuff before your recovery phase, or like before everything recovers during your turn.
Yeah, definitely. We're like, I think that's always the biggest thing for people, especially when they come from Magic, where you're like, yeah, you can just respond to recovery, and they're like, what do you mean I can respond? I'm like, oh, you can just like quick cast in something.
Yeah, if you have,
and then you recover, and then it's just normal, and they're like, I like this. Like, I get to draw a card. I can draw into a quick cast, play it, and I get to recover everything. It's like, yeah. It's like, why not?
Yeah.
I love that. I love the stuff that come out of that for Force.
And because we bought our LGS, called LGS, they bought 2 pre-release kits a while back for the set, and we only managed to go through 1 box, so we've been like using the second pre-release kit as like prize support until we get that second wave of boxes, like sometime in October or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere in mid-October.
Yeah, but we had all the extra promos, and we had the extra mat from the second pre-release kit, so we actually used those promos, gave them to like the first 8 people that came by or whatever. And then we also raffled off that pre-release mat, and the people there liked it. They liked the mat. It was nice.
Yeah, I mean, like, when you play Force World and you have a lot of the mats, like for us, like I was just like, Shefa is cool, but I don't want a mat with her, to be personal.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool mat, but yeah, it's just like whenever you get a free mat, still, it's always great.
Yeah, it's always fun.
Yeah. Like there's definitely, like, I can't remember my first Force World mat. All I know is that I don't use it. I probably never will use it. But I kept it because, it's your first. So for the longest amount of time, I think I kept it. Even though I knew I never was going to play on it. Because after playing the game, you're like, oh, I don't like this. This is bad art compared to like the other ones I have now.
Yeah, it's like I don't think I ever used any Force of Will mats. I just used my custom mats. The only Force of Will mat I used for a really long time was the Bikini Valentina ARG mat.
Oh, yeah, I use that one a lot. I used to use the like whenever you buy a couple boxes, like half a case, you get like a mat.
Yeah.
Like the one for like RDE I used for a while.
Whichever one was the one that had the mermaid as a buy 3 box mat. I know that was one of the cases we split.
Yeah.
I just can't remember what that set was.
Was it this cluster? Or are you talking about the previous one?
I think it was the previous cluster. Whichever set that Laura came in.
Oh, that would... I don't remember when Lori... Was that TSW or was that ADK?
I think no, it was TSW because I don't have any ADK cards. I didn't buy that set.
Okay. So yeah, TSW. But yeah, I think I know the mermaid you're talking about, I think.
Yeah, but anyway, it's just the one that like buffs mermaids' attacks but negs their defense.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was this cluster.
Was it this cluster?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't remember.
Pretty sure.
It was a bad card.
It was great for mermaids if you played like Mermaid Tribal, but even Shayla didn't go Mermaid Tribal.
It was this cluster because we were like, oh, that's weird. We have a random Mermaid Tribal card in a non-mermaid set. Cool.
I think it was in Strangers. I think that's
might have been Strangers.
Is it Strangers? Yeah, it must have been Strangers because I know the first set neither of us bought boxes for.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's... It's been interesting. But yeah, I'm happy that people got promos. They got, one person got one of the mats. And hopefully we can keep them interested until the structure jets come out.
Yeah, the only thing I'm saddened about this open house event was the fact that we didn't have any boxes, as in like just, I guess, just normal boxes people can buy packs from. Because one dude was like, I came here ready to buy like a box or two if I like the game. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, that's like one of those times where you're like, even if we had like a couple of structure decks, that would have been nice, just so
Yeah.
that way it's like, hey, here's some rulers on a card, like stuff you can play around with, that would have been great. Or yeah, some boxes.
Yeah, but they seemed really happy from the fact that they at least got trial decks that we made ourselves.
And then we also are trying to make a community box so people can just grab like commons and uncommons that we don't need.
And maybe if they ever decide to like ramp up the rare pull rate, we could throw in like random rares. I don't know. If that ever happens.
If it ever happens.
Yeah.
But that's probably unlikely, to be
Yeah.
personally honest. I don't see that happening for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if that ever happens, yeah, definitely. Like whenever we have extras, like even if we somehow pull like 20 of the same SR, like maybe I'll throw it in there
Yeah.
at that point. Yeah, it's at least a way to get people with different cards. And I mean, like sometimes there's like random commons and uncommons that are just amazing. Like I think it's March of the Dead is common or uncommon.
I think it's an uncommon.
Yeah, because I recently was like looking through some of my bulk to like pull out some stuff for some of the decks, and I ran to like 6 to like 8 of them, and I was like, I have at least a playset within the decks I had built.
Yeah.
I have a lot more extra than I thought. I don't know why. Like it's just such a great card that I was like, it's gotta be like a rare, right?
Yeah.
Or like, or low printed common or something. It's like no, like I have plenty of them, and I just didn't realize it.
Yeah. Like I know one thing that I'm still doing. Like I need to go find all the rulers I bought from the structure decks because I now have the promos. So I don't need them anymore. I'll like try to get them all again. I'm gonna see if like anyone wants to buy them from our community, and I'll obviously like sell them for like cheaper than you would online. I think
Yeah.
like somewhere between like a flat $10 to $15 range.
Like I found my old Fuji and what's the word? Fuji and Isis.
Mhm.
So I don't have an extra Fuji, but I'll probably just sell the Isis since I now
Yeah.
have at least one of the promos. I may have 2. Now that I think about it, I gotta check. But yeah, it's stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, like you got a few more extras than I do, but we got an extra like Arthur somewhere, extra Hanzo, an extra both Brunhild and Adam. Like
Mhm.
if I can just find them, yeah, I can just try and sell them cheap to the community. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do anything with them.
Yeah, and I would rather sell them for cheap to people that's gonna play the game nearby.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, especially that one. I don't learn any of the people's names.
Which one?
The guy that we're pretty sure used to play.
The
He really
dude that-
liked your Brunhild deck.
Oh, crap.
Where
He told me his name, but I forgot it too. I think he only said his name like once.
I never heard his name, so I was gonna go with that. If I did, I'd probably forget. But I'm pretty sure I didn't hear. But yeah, like if I can find like Brunhild, give it to him, and then he can just buy the
Yeah, because I was actually looking for because he wanted to buy the structure deck online. I was like, I think besides Brunhild, Adam, they're both of their master runes. Everything was reprinted.
There's a
Everything
coup-
viable.
Yeah. I think there was a couple cards that didn't get reprinted.
The
but-
only the only viable cards that weren't reprinted or viable cards was the 2-drop human that like gets swiftness and +2/+2 and precision when it comes back from grave.
yeah,
So those are like 25 cents a piece, so like $1 for a playset, not that bad. And there's one other Valkyrie, the one that you could flash in for like 4, and it's like flying and something else. I can't remember what it is.
Oh,
But-
and also the no. I was about to bring it something in the first set. Never mind.
But it's like
Yeah.
I remember it was like side decked for a little bit. But point is, she's not very expensive either. So it's like maybe $2 a piece or something like that. Not too crazy. But it helps that like a lot of these players they come from like a Yu-Gi-Oh and a Magic background. So compared to those games, Forcible is pretty cheap.
Oh yeah,
They're like,
I mean-
oh man, I could build a decent competitive deck for less than 150.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Because there's so many times where like someone asks me my deck, and someone besides me would be like, "Oh, that's a really expensive Force Will deck," and I'm like, compared to Magic, it's not. Like my
Yeah.
expensive Force Will deck is like 200 max, and that's because it's like max rarity and stuff. I was like, if you just get the cheap cards, like it's like 50 to 100.
Yeah.
Like that's not bad when you compare it to like Magic, where it's like $300-$400 for like a standard deck. You know?
I think the most expensive deck we currently have in this game is probably the perfect Loki builds. And that's only because they're using so many SRs from this latest set
Yeah.
that
Dark Alice's,
Perfect Lokis,
Perfect Lokis, obviously.
Fenrir's, Athenia's.
But yeah, besides that, like you can make a decent deck for really cheap.
Yeah.
Especially if you go like tier 2. Like a lot of those cards are really cheap. Even like Chimimi, I still feel like it's decent.
Yeah.
It's a very basic deck to build and to play. It's
And you don't need R-Wins for
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Which I hope we get R-Wins at some fucking point.
Yeah. I really thought when I made that deck list video, I was like, yeah, I'm going to mention our wins because it's going to get reprinted one day. And I was so wrong. I totally thought it was going to come in this last set.
Like 4 weeks later,
4 weeks later, they're like, hey, here's the entire set. And then like a week after that, I'm like, wait a second. Where's the Arwen? I was told that there was going to be an Arwen in this set. I was lied to. And it turns out that no one had ever said that.
Yeah.
A guy just mistranslated stuff. And that created the problem.
Oh man, that was brutal. But
So,
yeah, other than that, like the free drinks that the store was giving out, they contributed to players. And it's like you didn't even need to pay to go to the open house. You just kind of showed up and wrote your name down.
yeah, which is really great to help people just play the game in general. And
Yeah.
we each got something out of it. Because I think it's great whenever you get a free drink and you just kind of sit back, learn the game. You don't have to play. But if you're like me, I just like to learn games in general.
Yeah.
Like I played like 1 to 2 games of so many different games. Like I used to play Dragonborn for like all of like a week.
I slightly remember Dragonborn.
I got like the trial deck for like free, and I maybe bought a stretch deck. I don't remember.
Man, what was your favorite part about this pre-release?
Pre-release or open house?
Or open house, my bad. I forgot since we were using pre-release support.
I don't know. I like the fact that I just got to talk about Forceful, and like I love to see like that face, like when someone like sees something or they read something, or like, I love to hear whenever people are like, "Ah, oh, this card's so broken. It's gotta be so bonkers in the meta," and I'm like, "No one's played this card ever." Like one of the guys mentioned, he was like, "Pied Piper. Oh, that's mind control. Like, and you get to keep it no matter what. Like, even if it's random, it's so good." And I'm like, no one plays that card.
Yeah.
I was like, the only time I ever saw play was right when the set came out. In Cluster, you could see it because you banish an addition,
Yeah.
pay like 2 or whatever it is, and you get a 6 drop. And you randomly take one of theirs. But it's a 6 drop, it's a 4/4.
Yeah, it's
Like,
pretty bad.
Unless they only have one thing on the board. It's bad, but it's fun to like see people that are like, "Oh my gosh, like mind control, it's so good," and you're like, "Yeah, try it, man." Like I got nothing against it because maybe you'll play it and it'll work. Like,
Yeah.
it's a random effect, so maybe you'll get lucky. And other people that are like, or like when the guy was checking out your deck,
Oh yeah.
and he was
And
like, "Oh, this is just like so great, like Reanimator, it's so amazing." I'm like, there's so many ways to counter this deck.
Yeah. I even
But it's a
told
good
him,
deck.
I'm like, man, this deck is kind of gimmicky at times, but when it goes off, it hurts a lot. The Black White Brunhild deck that I've been using, I've been trying out recently.
Yeah, like, and I enjoy the deck. Like, I think it's a really good idea.
Like, it's always exciting whenever the deck just like runs fine, but then it sucks when it doesn't. It hurts. But like by far my favorite part of today was when we had like a 30-minute argument. I think it was like a 30 to 40-minute argument about whether the dude there was gay because he liked Cheshire Cat.
It's still a chick. Like, no matter what you say, it's still a girl. That's been confirmed forever. If people
Yeah.
still argue it, yes.
He was like, man, this is one fine-looking cat girl. I'm like, I think that's a dude. They're like, no way that's a dude. I'm like, we don't know if it's a guy or a girl.
It's a chick. Now, Vlad, on the other hand, I don't know who saw Vlad and was like, that's a cute girl. Why?
Oh yeah, the 4-drop Vlad from like the Black starter deck or whatever. Yeah.
He got reprinted, so we had some extras, and like someone saw it, was like, "Wow, this is super cute, like vampire chick," and I'm just like, "We don't have any extra Obitozukis, so what the hell is he looking at?" And I hear how I'll go, "No, Vlad's a dude," and the guy was like, "Well, I mean, like if you cover up the chest a little bit, like it looks like a chick," and I'm just like, "Yeah, but like the chest is like pecs, it's
Yeah.
not boobs, it's pecs."
But back to the Cheshire Cat, man. It was so funny how that dude was like, "No, man, I didn't know it
I'm
was
not
a
gay,
guy.
man."
I'm not gay." I was like, "Hold up, man. You're not gay if you like a trap without knowing it's a trap. But once you find out it's a trap and you're still attracted to it, man, this is how this argument's gonna go."
I mean, it's just like Astolfo. Like, so many people are like, "Oh, such a cute girl, such a cute girl." And then when you watch the anime, you're like, "John? Yes? His dick, doesn't he?" And it's like, "Yes." You're like, "Oh no, oh no, oh no, I'm gay."
But man, yeah, it's just fun because again, a lot of weebs were there just playing the game because of the anime
Yeah.
aesthetic
And
to the cards.
if we go back to Alice, there's so many good waifus.
Yeah,
Like, we get like Val, Priscia, Shion.
yeah, Shion was good, but Val's always best girl, no matter how psychotic she is or how old she is. I don't know, because she like
we don't know
body-
anything. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll learn something this time around.
That'd be pretty cool if you like see
I
like
mean-
Valentina's previous body or something.
I really expect them to put rulers back in the set.
I hope so too. 'Cause
I just don't know if they're going to be guaranteed one per box.
Yeah.
Because I really expect, like, I have a couple ideas. The one I want to happen is the girl that's on the booster box to be in the set and to be a ruler.
Yeah,
Just so that way, because I feel like that's the biggest problem, was that people were saying, well, there's too many rulers, they were not worth anything. And this last time proved, hey, you don't have any rulers for people, no one can play the game.
yeah,
So if you just put like one in the set, someone that gets into the game, they don't have options, but they do have an option.
Yeah.
You know. So if you get into the set, you're like, hey, I'm going to buy a couple boxes. They're like, okay, if you buy 2 boxes, like you should be, there's like a 99% chance you're going to pull this chick, and you can just use her in player, and she's half decent. You know,
Yeah.
even if she's like tier 2, tier 2.5, like it's at least you have an option to learn the game through.
yeah,
And as far as we know, there's supposed to be 2 structure decks every single set.
yeah.
I just hope that they're brand new and they're not just Varia and Malgus every single
Constantly, man. That would suck. But it's like if they do put rulers back in the boxes, I'm hoping if that's the case, we'll have extras because we're ordering 3 fucking cases. Because
There's 4 of us ordering a total of 3 cases.
I'm ordering a whole case on my own. Bill, who's like a newer player to our community, is ordering a whole fucking case to himself. And you and Kevin are splitting splitting a case.
Also, I just want to talk to Andrew about just making sure each of us can get a pair of the structure deck. Because I'm pretty sure all of us are going to get 2.
Yeah.
Like 1 of each. So hopefully he orders more because we're going to need more.
Yeah. Because we're getting 2 display cases or boxes.
But is it 2 of
For-
each?
It's 2 of each.
Okay,
I have
then we
talked,
should have
yeah,
enough.
I've talked to
At least to
Andrew
start.
about it. Yeah, 2 for each starter deck or whatever.
Yeah.
But even then, with you, me, Roderick, Kevin, and Bill, that'd be 1 display case of each gone.
Yeah. Is it 5 or 6?
I
forget.
can't remember if it's 5 or 6. If it's 5, then 1 case of each is gone from
Yeah.
just
Well,
us.
that's presuming that Roger buys both of them.
Yeah, that is
Because
true.
sometimes he'll only buy one.
Yeah.
And he'll
He's
want
probably
to
going to
get
get the Melgus one, knowing him.
Yeah, yeah. He always says fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, which don't blame him. But I'm just gonna get them both. I'll see which one I like better.
Yeah.
Just based on looks, I'll probably go Malgus because black red is my thing.
Yeah.
Like I love black. But besides that, I don't know. Like maybe I'll love Faria's gimmick more than I love Malgus's. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, so but besides that, like I guess we can roll into the part about the box images, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah.
So we're pretty sure based upon the box images that Malgus is going to be black red, Faria is going to be white blue, which fits because we're pretty sure there's going to be a Blazer either in the set or in the stretch deck.
Yeah.
And Blazer black red. Malgus is red and technically actually had a card that was black now that I think about it, but it's a shadow. So
Yeah,
it sort of counts,
Mel
doesn't
gets the shadow or
Yeah.
whatever.
But and then Varia has always been a well, besides that one time where she was green, besides that, she's been blue and white.
Yeah.
She's been white more consistently, and then there's at least one blue card that I can instantly think of. But Charlotte was always a blue thing.
Yeah.
And they're related, so it counts. So, I mean, like all the colors match up, and the box art kind of gives it that way. So, it really makes me think like we're getting 2 unique special stones in each of them. So I'm really expecting a dual stone of some sort.
That'd be cool. Like even like, oh man, like even if it's some sort of like limited dual, like limited utility dual stone, like I don't know, like there's some weird condition. That'd be fun.
So I think at least one of them is going to be like very specific to the ruler.
Like what was the dual stones that we got? I think it was like 2 clusters ago that you had to have like a specific ruler for them to come in on tap.
Oh, shock rocks.
Shock rocks.
Yeah, I can see that, but a little bit harder.
Yeah, a little bit.
So like
more
I think one of
conditional.
them is going to be very specific, where it's like if you do not control this ruler or this J ruler, banish it
Yeah.
or something. So you could technically play it just to try and get Dark Alice's effect off.
Mm. Oh yeah.
But it's a bad card because you don't get
Yeah.
If that's your first stone, you're like, okay, I don't have any mana. Pass. It's like, did you call for stone? It's like, yeah, it's in my grave now. And you're like, bad card.
Ugh.
But besides, like, so it's very specific. Where it's like, hey, you can put this in any deck, but it's not gonna last.
Yeah.
That's my thought, at least. I don't.
Or it
Maybe
could
it'll
be
just-
like at the end of your turn, if your ruler's not X, then destroy this.
yeah, or maybe it's just gonna not want to be played with Divinity Ruler. So it just goes like, if your ruler has Divinity, banish this, and you're like, so it's all the like in Wonder, it's everything but New Valhalla. In New Frontiers, it's just the new stuff. And
Yeah.
you're like, yes, that would be kind of.
That'd be so weird because then they would have to mention a mechanic from a previous cluster.
You act like they wouldn't do that
You're right.
because Heavenly Gust existed.
Oh
Which
yeah, and Heavenly Gust.
I think it specifies Regalia.
Yeah, it does.
Pretty sure it goes it's destroy all additions and Regalia. And it's just
or
like
additions or Regalia. Then if you like torrent it or something, destroy
it was like destroy one.
Okay,
Okay, it's
that's
just
what
like
it
if you
was.
torrent it, destroy all.
Yeah.
But I remember that card. Like it was like it destroys all the Regalia, and we're like, finally we have something to get around Regalia. It somewhat worked.
Yeah.
It's a good card, like if you could pull off. And Seven Winds comes out, and torrenting is now useless. So that's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah. But man, a Heavenly Gust reprint would be pretty legit. Or, like,
I need that to fight against ISIS.
dude, the ISIS.
We need to fight ISIS. ISIS is terrorizing our nation, our force of will people around the globe. We need to fight against the oncoming of ISIS. I'm trying to see how many dualities I can create. But yeah, it's just like, I don't like how many moons they can create. And like right now, it's just like, okay, I can pay 1 green to destroy an addition.
Yeah. That,
Okay, you can make 5 in like 1 turn like that super easily. You play a 1-drop, you banish it, you get a moon.
Or they
you
just-
play a 1-drop chant, you make a moon, you draw a card. It's like, it's literally like a moon is worth 1 mana. I'm having to pay 1 mana. And you get either a body or a card out of it. And I don't.
Yeah.
Like,
so bad.
and even if I go to destroy one, you're like, okay, response, I'll just tap it for red. Like, before the red goes away, I'll burn you for 5. And it's like, okay, great. Like, I just got lightning strike or something.
Yeah.
I don't like the mana ramp.
And it's like if you try to destroy a moon while Gnarly's on board, she's like, I'm just going to sack the moon you just targeted.
And set the moon out, prevent damage, or sack it and destroy something. It's just like, there's nothing you can do. Yeah, or tap it, sack it, you know,
Yeah.
for mana if you got Isis End.
It's like the best anti-ice or like anti-moon card we have is
One and only.
yeah, one in the
But at that point, then if they're smart, then they just banish them all.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'll just destroy your board and like prevent the next damage. And it's like, okay, now I have 1 moon left. Like, go ahead, it resolves, nothing happens. You know, like, great, thanks. a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just rough to get around those moons without any proper wide destruction.
actually, I just thought about it. You could technically, if you play Perfect Loki, you get out all 5 of the giants.
Mm-hmm.
One of them creates 2 moons. Then you one and only. Now all the moons have to be destroyed because you have 2.
Yeah, you're right.
So as long as you have 1, at least one of them is going to be on the board. It checks both sides. Oh, that'd be so weird though.
That would be weird.
But at that point, you have 5 giants. If you're losing, what is happening here?
yeah.
Because it's not like Gnarly can target them.
No, she
Barrier
can.
4 costs or less, man. Yeah, if you lose after you Neo Ragnarok, I don't know what to say.
That would be pretty weird.
Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah, it's like we got one and only. We only have one and only.
Yeah. As in, like, it's one and only can destroy edition. We have a blue one that can return an edition
Yeah.
to the top of the deck, I think, or bottom. Saturn.
Yeah.
It's Saturn, right? Yeah. We have a 1-drop green rune chant that can destroy one. I think there's probably a couple of things I'm forgetting, but like that's the main ones. But there's nothing widespread. I don't
Yeah.
like that. So maybe in the next cluster we'll see something. Or maybe we'll get something like Shackles, where I can just attach it to the Gnarly, and then the Gnarly can't do anything.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, that'd be so
Another
good to have.
Shackles Vice.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'll have a video soon referencing that card, if it gets through the proper channels.
Yeah. Those channels being me.
You and Roderick and
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've already reviewed the video, so.
yeah.
But point is, that video should be coming out soon.
Yeah. Hopefully sometime this week.
Yeah. I think that's like the pre-release, the next set. Not a
Oh.
lot's gone down.
No. The other thing I was gonna mention that for possibility for like a special Magic Stone is like I think this would be like really cool. I just don't think it'd go over well. It's have like a dual stone that's like you tap, you produce one, normally like kind of like a no Magic Stone.
Yeah.
Where like maybe you tap it, it produces red naturally this time around, or you tap it, produce black. If your ruler is this, you pay 1 life. If otherwise, you pay 4. So it's like a really big detriment, but it's a dual stone. So you get a dual stone out of it, but it's gonna hurt a lot.
You know, it'd be really cool that we get. This is another like a land type from Magic. So it's a land that comes in. Yes, they come in tap, but you could tap this land for a void, or you could they come in like 2 different kinds. It's either you pay life and tap it to produce a dual, or you tap that and a void to produce a mix of like 2 different colors. Like you could produce like a green, a red, or a double red.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that would be kind of interesting.
So not only does this stone just like produce void on its own, so that means you can't play like a 1-drop turn 1 with it.
Yeah. So
if you want to produce color, you have to tap 2 stones.
Yeah. And then anytime you tap that, you always have to tap it twice. Yeah, that would be kind of interesting mechanic. Because it would require you to like plan things out. So like turn 1 you can't play anything. If you hit that,
Yeah.
turn 2
Unless
you
have,
either
like,
have to play a
void.
2-drop or 1/1.
Yeah.
You can't go 1 and then use it like during their turn.
And it prevents you from playing like a 2-drop that's like 2 like colors, not like a 1 color and a 1 void. Because like if you hit it turn 1 or turn 2, it's still Oh no, because you'll have to mix. But it'll be interesting still.
Oh yeah.
It makes it for like a valid dual stone kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that would be very interesting. Like it requires a lot more thinking. And it's a big trade-off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could definitely see something like that coming around. I'm trying to think what else.
Because it also allow for like late game mana filtering kind in a way.
I still want a stone that just produces one of the attribute colors of your ruler.
Oh, like Commander's Tower from Magic.
Yeah.
Which is a land that, like, if you don't play Magic, there's a format called Commander. It's a singleton format, like 100 cards singleton. And there's a land called Commander's Tower. Their Commander in Commander format is the equivalent of like our ruler kind of thing, but it obviously doesn't tap for land because Magic. But yeah, the land it produces 1 will of the color identity of your commander.
Yeah, so I can see something like that. Like, I think it'd be great just because then you get around all these people that are like, oh, like, I'm trying to play, like, blue with Hanzo. And it's like, no. This one doesn't let you tap for blue.
Yeah, it taps for whatever your ruler is. If your ruler is
Yeah.
green, it taps for green.
Yeah, so it helps, like, if you start making dual attribute stuff, then it helps that without helping previous. You know,
Yeah.
like the cards from New Valhalla, where they're only one color, where you can still play it. And maybe if you slide into a different ruler, which doesn't happen as much anymore
Yeah.
because of the Divinity deck.
I just
deck.
saw something interesting. If it's going to be true and the starter decks for the next cluster are going to be dual like colors, instead of having like a single colored ruler and like 2 colors in the deck, and like you know how it would have like 10 single color, no, like, oh, let's see how we want to do this, like 5 dual colored rulers instead of 10 rulers, 10 single colors. That would be your like 5 color identities for the cluster.
Oh, yeah, like. So my thought was what they may do is if they're gonna do 2 structure decks every single set, and it's 8. Presume that they're each unique.
Yeah, would still be short.
So there would be 2 short. So either A, they're gonna be in the box, and they're gonna do like first and third set, or they're gonna release like a fighting deck, like what Melgus and Varier had originally. Like they're gonna do it like in between the second and third set, or
It's
maybe
like
at the end of the
pseudo
fourth set.
mid-set Vingolf. I don't know.
Yeah, either mid-set Vingolf, like Vingolf 3, or maybe at the end of the set. Maybe they'll give us like 4 months, and after like 2 months, they're going to release it. Then 2 months later, then the next set, next cluster drops. So we get like some months on one side and some months on the other. We'll see. I don't know.
It's just weird that it's like if you do 2 structured decks per set, it's just weird because it's just like 2 rulers, but we have 4 sets to go through.
Yeah, like I was saying, like it would not surprise me if they start playing like I think it'd be interesting to have like a ruler in the first set, then a ruler in the third, so if people get in during the right when it starts out, they can buy box, hopefully pull the ruler, or they can buy like structure deck and maybe then they'll pull the ruler and then they have options at that point.
Because I think the chick that's going to be on the box, she has to be a ruler because with all the other boxes, hasn't the rulers always been printed on the box art?
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
But we haven't had rulers for a while, so
Yeah, that is
technically that's not
true.
true because it's just like, oh wow, like here's this character. I wonder if it's a ruler, and this says like, nope, just a resonator.
Okay, I just had to check something. So for the Valhalla cluster, none of the rulers were on the boxes, so we don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's Stem. Stem was on Strangers of New Valhalla.
Yeah, I think
Odin was on the last one.
I think Anubis was on the first one.
Yeah,
I
it was
didn't buy the box. I just thought about it.
I think it was Anubis.
I think it was Anubis. I forgot which one was AOA. But yeah, so obviously no rulers in the structure deck. And I mean no rulers in the
But in the Rhea set, they did have all the rulers on in the boxes.
yeah, and also on the playmats, but they don't do playmats for boxes anymore.
Yeah.
Hopefully they go back to. I want at least like 1 to 2 rulers in the box, just because I liked pulling a ruler, especially whenever you like flipped it over and you spun it out, and then you're like, I pulled a ruler. And I also had like that with like a friend that he did that, and he was like, oh, I didn't pull a ruler, and flipped it over in Uber Tree 1.0, and he was just like, oh, I guess I did. And I'm just like, yeah. I think at the time, like I made a joke, like I was like, well, flip it over, maybe you got Tree, and he was like, oh, maybe I did. And he was like, oh, I got an Uber Tree, and I'm like,
Fuck you.
I didn't call that. I hate you. I think at the time it was worth like, what, like Ubers were like 100, 200 at the time?
Yeah.
They've gone down because there's so many of them now.
Yeah, I think.
I hope they come back.
Yeah, most of the Ubers are under
Ooh,
100 now.
That would be interesting for them to bring back since we're returning to Alice. If they brought back Ubers.
Yeah.
Because that was an Alice cluster thing.
Yeah, that was an Alice cluster because.
And if they also brought back stamps. They're not going to.
Oh my
but that'd
god,
be cool.
dude. Stamps are so pretty.
I love the stamps. I hate that people didn't like them. Like they're like, oh, I just want to see more of the art. And I'm like, yeah, but mine says Force of Will on it.
Hell,
And I
even
think
the
that's
people
cool.
at the open house we had, whenever I was showing them my binder, I have a few stamp cards, and they're like, they would single out those cards out of all the other cards. They're like, that stamp looks hella pretty.
Yeah, I don't care that it covers up some of the text. I know the text.
Yeah.
Like on my RR, it has a stamp on it, and people are always like, what does it say? And I'm like, don't worry about it. It says 0 cost. And they're like, why would that be 0 cost? I'm like, don't worry about it. It's RR. It's always 0 cost.
Yeah. Another funny thing that I noticed people point out was Satan. Like they'll be flipping through my binder and not a lot of effects on cards, and they see Satan, they're like, "What the fuck is this?"
They're like, okay, this has like 3 or 4 keywords on it. Like, I know what those keywords mean. I flip the page. Hey, this has some like text chant on it. Oh wow, prismatic flame is kind of small, and then you get to Satan, and you're like, this is 3 hefty paragraphs. Just tell me. There's so many times where I play against people, and they're like, oh, what does Satan do? And I'm like, you want to read it? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, I'll give you a rundown.
Yeah.
I explained to them, I'm like, I don't know if I understand, but I'll just trust you. And I'm like, okay. I wonder if that's going to happen at a tournament. Like, if I'm reading Satan, if I read very, very slow, because I just naturally read slow, is that slow play at a certain point?
I don't know, probably.
Because it's just like, I'm reading the card. I don't know what the heck this card does, because I don't play with it. So it's just like reading the card. And I'm like, my friend's just like, slow play. You haven't done anything. It's like, I'm reading a card, man. Like this is 3 paragraphs.
Yeah.
And it's hard to understand sometimes. I don't know. I have to look into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, in general, yeah. It's very much, I love its comparison to Yu-Gi-Oh! Everyone's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is a Yu-Gi-Oh! Effect. Because it's like,
just small font.
what if we make the
the
font 5 and then we just fill the entire thing with that? And you're like, that's not a good idea. It's like,
I
but I'm going to do it.
I think we've only had 3 cards with font that small.
Yeah,
Satan.
every single card has the same font except for Satan, Prismatic Flame,
and Machina, BFA Machina.
oh, right.
Oh no, BFA Machina didn't have small print. I think they kept the same print, but it's like it was just huge. So
Yeah,
they
so
covered up
even
a lot
on
of
the
art.
full art, I love seeing the full art because it was still covering up most of the thing, and people were like, "Why did you do this?" And they're like, "Well, we put it like we." No, I think this was actually before they started to put like full art, like quote unquote, like full art text farther down
Yeah,
because they have more space. It was before that, so it was just like in the middle of the thing. It covered like here's like the card, like this section was just text.
Yeah.
So you're like, I can't see the art. Like I can kind of see the like top of his face. That's about it. And you're like, good effect.
yeah. But yeah. Anything else want to like sum up before?
I can't think of much. I know. Like my prediction is that we're gonna get spoilers this week, just because it's going into. It's about to be October.
Yeah.
We just got like the dual decks, and if the dual decks have unique cards from the start, the structure deck, and structure deck's apparently going to have a whole bunch of memorial cards. So it wouldn't surprise me if they went like structure deck stuff, memorial cards, and like right at the end, then just be like, yeah, here's a whole bunch of like new cards. I don't think they're actually going to do
No.
that, just because of what they did with the last one, where it's just like our last days were like, hey, here's the commandments and here's all the reprints.
Yeah.
And we had to like go through and we were like, what's getting reprinted? So I can see that happening again. But I hope that they start soon because I want to know, how the new mechanics work, like
Yeah.
what's going to happen. And hopefully they don't pull something where it's just like, hey guys, like here's this new thing. And we're like, what does the keyword mean? And they're like, figure it out. And we're
Oh, like faith, Jesus Christ! I just remember that. Like,
all right.
we spent like 2 weeks. Like, what the fuck is faith?
And finally, when we got the card, then we're like, oh, this makes sense. Why didn't they just tell us this?
Yeah, we were all wrong. Like some people were like, oh, it's like when you have no divinity used, or like when you max out divinity, or it was just like random stuff, like really conditional things, and they're like, oh no, it's just when your J ruler's dead. We're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, like I think I was on board with the whole like you gotta like flip over all your runes and then you have faith, and it's just like, oh no, you just gotta kill your own J-Ruler. It's like, oh,
But I don't want to
That's-
flip.
it's like, well, then you can just play this Bruno card that kills it for you, and you're like, I want to flip later though. It's like that's not my problem now, is it? Yeah, but
That's when you play Odin and
you heal
you heal.
until you play
dead.
until you play Odin, and then they're like, ah, Lord it, and you're like, thanks a lot. I have no way of healing this.
Yeah.
I'll just wait till next turn and I'll do it again. Just like, no, like you're gonna die.
Yeah.
But yeah, besides that, I don't know. I feel like
And I
I'm
hope-
hoping we get something new, and I hope that they have, like, they give us the cards that explain it,
Yeah.
and they don't just go, hey guys, here's this thing, and like people are just looking and they're like, I guess it's kind of a cool card, and then later on, then they're like, oh, that's what like this text meant, like,
Did we have any keywords exclusive to Alice cluster?
I mean, we haven't had Remnant since. Well, did we have Remnant in Lapis? I don't think so. I don't remember.
We didn't. I guess the only remnant we had during Lapis was through the Valhalla set. Or not the Valhalla, but the Vingolf 3. But even then, that was reprints from Alice that were in it. Like, what was the... Not Rapid Growth, that's a magic card.
No, it was Rapid Growth.
Oh, it is? Okay, because there's a card named Rapid Growth that kind of does the same thing in Magic. I was like, nah, that's a Magic card.
1 green, quick cast, 4/4, Remnant, 4/4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So I want Remnant to come back because I don't know why they printed a card in Rhea. What is it? Look, it's not like Corruption, it's Gaze.
I don't remember that one.
Gaze, where it's like 1 black, you call a card, your opponent reveals their hand, you discard all of that one.
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember what you're talking about.
Gaze. And then it's just like, yeah, you can remove like 2 mystery counters,
2
and
mystery
then you can play it from your grave, but it gets removed from play, and I'm like,
that's Remnant.
just call it Remnant. Like, Remnant, we haven't had. Stealth, we haven't had in a very long time.
Yeah.
Like, once I went to Lapis, they got rid of so many different things, like mechanics that I like. Like, I still find it funny that I've done this where I can just pay 2 and I'm like, set a card, and people are like, what do you mean set a card? And I'm like, I had Judgment, like my Scarlet, and they're like, but you set a card though, what the hell is this? And I'm like, okay, so like, this is a mechanic that means nothing right now.
Yeah.
But it scares people. Even pros will see you set a card and they're like, what is this guy doing? This was a bad thing. He is either an idiot or he's playing really, really well and so high level I don't comprehend this. And that's what I like. So I've done that before.
We had Inheritance, didn't we? In Alice?
That was Lapis.
Oh, that was Lapis.
And then we didn't get it on the Giants. Because that makes total sense. Not to print it on the Giants.
Yeah.
I kind of get it just because... Could you imagine... Glorious getting that kind of ability.
Oh my god, dude! If Glorious has
just
Giants,
you flip and then you're just like, I get an Inheritance once per turn for free. Okay, Inheritance, destroy. You discard a card and I lose 4 life. It's like, what just happened? I don't know. Pass. Okay.
It's like during your
Judgment. I'll swing with my Ayu. Destroy. I gain 1,000. It's just like, what am I supposed to be doing here? Like, I'm just gonna lose this game. And you're just like, yeah, that's the point.
Dude,
you're
that'd
supposed
be
to be
brutal. I would play like a lot
Council
of the
cycle
Giants.
early time where it's just like pay 0, discard, draw. So just like, okay, I have a giant in my hand, discard, draw, and once you flip it, then you're good. That. Like, I get why they didn't do that, but at the same point, I don't feel like they look at Wander a lot.
No,
so I'm pretty sure they just forgot.
There's no way Forcible thought of that, or I Spy, whichever one. I don't know. Who was in charge during the development of these cards.
I think it's I Spy, but yeah, I'm hoping they introduce. I'm pretty sure Regalia are going to come back.
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain, since it was their entire gimmick, even if we had other stuff, like that was their thing. I'm just hoping it's more of like a legendary clause. Like I like that from Magic, where it's just like, hey, you can run like 4, but only 1 can be on your board.
Yeah.
And if another one comes onto the board, one of them has to be banished.
Yeah.
That's how Magic does it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so I think that'd be kind of cool. Just because it could be, and I also don't mind them having better effects than the previous ones, as long as you actually had to pay for things.
Yeah.
Like if it was like, hey, 2 cost like Lave, but it's legendary rule.
Yeah.
But everything else from Lave is there, I'm golden for that. Because it's like, okay, anyone can play this card. Melgus plays it best, but it costs to play it.
Yeah.
And you can only have 1. I think that's what was so hurtful for so many different decks, was just when you went Lave, pass. Like Lave, like do something. Pitch a card, play this thing. Pass, go to my turn, tap, untap, tap again, like, Judgment, swing for lethal, and your opponent just goes, yeah, you get good game. And you're like, yeah, I just won turn 2. What about it?
Yeah. Or no, it was like before untap, tap, Lave.
Yeah, tap,
tap
my 2 Laves, tap my 2 Death Sights, untap, and it's just like, so it's a +4/+4 that does 400 more damage this turn? Yes. Tap Laves again, banish a Lave, Judgment is like, okay, now it has built-in and imperishable for the rest of the turn.
GG, bro.
I'll Black Moonbeam is like, okay. I don't care. It has imperishable. I'll Judgment the next turn, kill you. I'll play my other life from hand pass, and it's just like, what am I supposed to do against this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So fast legendary claws, at least you'll have like a lave, a death scythe, and a horn. You know, but hopefully they cost mana. Even if they're void, they at least should cost mana, or their ability should cost something.
Yeah.
Or I guess I could do the kind of thing where it's just like
I
lave
could-
costs 2 to play, but if you control Malchus, it's free.
Oh no, it could be a 2 to play all the regalia, and it's like either 1 or 2 to use their tap abilities. But if you're using the correct ruler, the tap abilities are free.
Yeah. Or they're like 10 times better.
Yeah.
Like lave, where it's just like, hey, I can tap it, +2 damage, and it gains my Malchus gains imperishable.
Yeah.
So they just give us like lave again, but like remove the banish for imperishable.
Yeah.
Then that's way more fair because people play Malgus and then it's just like, oh, Malgus dies, I'll just in response tap it. Okay, it's dead. I have imperishable, and no other ruler can do that but him.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I feel like Regali can do so much for like judgmenting because I don't like a format that we're in where it's just like, I judgment. You're losing this game, aren't you? Perfect Loki is the only deck we've had in so long where it's just like, I'm going to judgment to win the game.
Yeah, it's like
Brunhild sort of did it.
Yeah, because she could bring back anything.
Yeah.
From
But at that
Regali.
point, it's just like, I'm sort of on a losing end, but I can come back. And that's when she comes back.
Yeah.
Hanzo somewhat did it, but it was mainly when
But
he's on the upper hand. He would
Hanzo's
just
a
do it
win
to,
more.
Yeah, his was just like, I'm winning already. Like, I'm just going to put back my ceiling scroll so I have a free cancel for your next turn and my 1,000 body. And like, thanks a lot. Lucifer was just mainly, he's just like, hey, does your opponent have 3 cards in hand? Do you have nothing else to do? Judgment. They now have no
Yeah.
hand. Pass.
But you had to have, but like literally almost any play was better than Judgment Team.
A few times I've done it, it's just because I'm like, I'm pretty sure they have stuff that can do something whenever I do something. Like,
Yeah.
Scout attacking you or something. So I'll just judgment, discard their entire hand, and I'll swing for lethal.
But
That's only
very,
one-
very
Yeah.
few and far between.
And at that point, it's just like,
Or
why not
far
just
and
play like
few.
Look of Corruption and like
Yeah.
Awaken it? And it's just like, okay, I can hit something in their hand. At least
And
one thing.
maybe I could hit 2 things. Depending on the deck you're playing. But now in our current format, it's like no one really goes over 4
Yeah.
minus giants. But even then, giants are kind of 3 drops. 'Cause-
Yeah. Yeah, their abilities are basically 3.
Yeah.
And then Neo Ragnarok just puts them on the board.
For 2.
For 2. I'm still waiting for that one deck. I bet you someone's going to top with a Neo Ragnarok in their main deck. I know it's going to happen eventually.
It would have to be some sort of like hard ramp.
Oh yeah, I mean like like you play like ramp Darkstones with Layla and Altar.
No, it's just black green ramp.
Uh.
So you're playing like the green giants to like your main deck 3 green giants to ramp, black stones to go into or Layla's for
No.
black stones.
You do Layla to ramp black, and then you play Wind Chime.
Yeah.
'Cause there's a chant.
Yeah.
So you tap like 3 Wind Chimes, you tap all your stones, and then you're like Neo Ragnarok from hand. And your opponent just flips the ceiling scroll and you cry.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you just flip and then you judgment and then you play your other one
From your rune deck.
from your rune deck. Yeah. I'm so happy that Perfect Loki came around because I love judgmenting. I missed it so much because there was just so many times
Yeah, I
where I
didn't
played
realize how much I missed Judgment Team. until
100% miss
Perfect Loki.
judgment. Like when I got to play Perfect Loki, I'm like, I'm a judgment. I get this super big ability and it does like all this stuff and it's a hard thing to kill.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like this. There's a way to kill it. Like there's plenty of ways to kill it, but like you have to try. It has imperishable, so I can come back, but it's a hefty hit.
Yeah.
So then when I come back and I have to
You
do
gotta
another
build
10.
another 10 cards.
But
and
if I
it's-
win that turn,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. But yeah, stuff like that like I really miss judgmenting. So I'm so
Yeah.
happy it's back. Yeah. Because like the only one you really judgment in the meta right now is Kirik for a while, but I don't like to play Kirik.
Yeah.
Ayu, but Ayu is Ayu, and as much as I like it, I hate playing it and I hate playing against it. Like I don't mind playing it. I think it's enjoyable, but it's just like playing against it. I know people hate it because it's.
I know Daniel knows you don't like playing inside you.
No one does. Like out of anyone, I probably like it the best.
Actually, I kind of enjoy the IU games, funny enough. Because I always like to see how fast can I push my deck.
Yeah.
But I'm weird like that. Like, I enjoy the Panda IU matchup strangely enough, and that's such a weird matchup.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, there's certain matchups against Ayu I don't mind, but it's just like, unless I have something in my main deck to fight it, I don't like fading it. There's so many times where like I'm like playing against it, I'm like, wow, I have like a few things in my side deck. Okay, I lose game one automatically, pretty much. Like, go to my side deck, hope I draw into this stuff, because if I don't, I just lose.
Yeah.
And then maybe if I do, okay, I won game two, now I gotta do it again in game three. And they can side deck even better against me game three.
Mm.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm hoping the next set has stuff. I don't know. Like, also, I guess the one last thing on closing is we figured out what that random card was that was supposed to be in the stone deck. It's a basic stone.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I remember us talking about that.
Yeah, we're like, we were all like talking about it. And we were like, oh my gosh, like what is it? Like last week we were like, what is it gonna be? Like it's gonna be some kind of weird stone. We don't know what it is. And then when the boxes were released, they're like 2 play sets of special stones and 2 basic stones, and we're like, is basic stone all along? Either someone mistyped it or someone really misheard. Like in the group chat, I think I said like one dude was just like, oh, you said 2 basic stones. I heard 1 basic and 1 mystery stone. They sound just alike. It's like, I was like, I'm pretty sure someone mistyped it. I don't know. Like, there's some kind of disconnect there.
Yeah.
I don't know. But besides that, like, I think it was overall. Okay, I can't help but notice that.
What? Oh no.
Did it stop recording?
I think the video stopped recording.
Did it record the audio?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so let's just bring it to close now, and then we'll check.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry guys. We just noticed that the video completely is paused. You probably have known this the entire time, and we didn't. I'll probably put up some.
Unless you're just like listening to it, then it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So I guess this is really big that we should start doing audio more. Haha. We'll probably have some type of picture for you guys to look at instead of looking at.
I'll probably have some dumb meme about us.
Yeah, you
fucking
can just
up.
have like a meme slideshow. And have some like other graphics here and there.
Yeah.
We'll make something fun for you guys. Sorry about that. I guess we'll fix it next time so you
Yeah.
can see our beautiful faces. But I guess we should wrap it up.
Yeah.
This was the WLTCG podcast. My name's Sam.
And I'm Hoel.
And thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.